And good morning. Welcome to a Tadpoll for a Thursday morning. We have another busy one, as we usually do Thursday mornings. We're talking first here about what's going on in the city of Phillipsburg. Mayor Lance Munyon is with us. Also, Tim Driggs and Brenda Chance. We're going to talk about CDBG, very important to the future of the city of Phillipsburg. We're going to discuss that a little bit. Also, Angie is going to stop by to talk about the car cruise. Maybe Tami will come in also more single about the outstanding music opportunity that the young boys and girls will have a chance to take part of this summer, brought to you by Hanson Foundation and also Shelley Smith on a blood drive that's coming up next week. So you can see we have a busy one, and of course it's made possible by the sponsors you see scrolling there on the screen, and we'll talk about those throughout the program here. But the first thing, it's the last Thursday of the month, and we usually have that reserved for the mayor and whoever else you can twist arms to come in there with you, Not really. They're very good. It's just a good opportunity for us to find out some things. And the big thing right now is the Community Development Block Grant. Brenda, you want to start out, or Tim? Who wants to start out on? And CDBG is what?
Right. CDBG stands for Community Development Block Grant. And those programs are available to small communities for grants, and the program requires that we meet certain national objectives. Some of those objectives are eliminate slum and blight, urgent need, and assist low to moderate income persons. So we are getting ready to look at doing an application. There's a big process. We have to have public hearings and we have to go through all this stuff. But to even look at that portion of it, we need to do an income survey of our community.
Okay, all right.
So we are getting ready to do that.
Okay, now, is the city conducting it, or is someone coming? I know the Fort Hayes has done one here, So what's the city doing this?
The city is going to do that.
Okay.
We are going to mail the surveys with your utility bills. So April 30th, we're going to hit the mail. So probably May 1st, May 2nd, you're going to start getting envelopes from the city of Phillipsburg that have a big red stamp on it that says bill enclosed. Do not throw those away.
It won't be the postcard thing.
No. The postcard's going to be in the envelope with the survey.
Okay.
So what we want you to do is take a few minutes and fill that survey out. It only takes a couple minutes. It's going to ask you how many people live in your home. Mm-hmm. Are they all related? And then we're going to look for an income range. We don't want to know your specific income. All we want to know is what range you fall in for the number of people in your family. Then it talks about race and female head of household and disabled people in your home. These are all things that are needed for this program.
And it's very important that you need the numbers, don't you?
We do.
Yeah.
We do need the numbers to get this back. Our target is 1,358 low to moderate income persons in our community. And when I say community, I mean everybody that uses water from the city of Phillipsburg.
Okay.
So even though you're outside the city limits, if you have a water meter with us, you're going to get this survey, and it's very important that you return it also.
And I think the thing to really stress is this is all personal information, private. I mean, you aren't going to sell the results to half the people around the country.
No.
Right? No Facebook going on.
No
right.
Facebook, no. The only thing that anyone can see is the total tabulation. That will be available, but it does not have any individual information on that tabulation. On the survey itself, when you get it in the mail, you will see your name and address on that. We have to do that because if the federal program or the state program comes in and does an audit, we have to be able to show them that this was your survey, and they have to be able to contact you and say, did you fill the survey out? They want to make sure that we're just not sitting in the office just filling out surveys and having a good old time,
That makes sense, yeah.
But they are the only ones that can see it. It is not public information.
You know, in the past, what has the CDBG done for the city?
Oh, we've done sewer grants, we've done water grants, we've done housing projects. There's just lots of things that CDBG can do. And we can apply for up to $600,000. It used to be $400,000, and now it's $600,000. We have to have a 25% match, which on any water or sewer project, that's not an issue because they are big money projects. But this helps us keep your rates and your taxes as low as we can and still get the infrastructure projects done that we need.
Sure. Lance, as mayor there, your look on this, I know you've been a mayor now for 3 months, and now this is one of the things you want to do.
Yeah, I'm experienced now. It's huge.
How important is this?
Well, we went through the work plans and for this year, and we were able to spend, what, 280,000?
Roughly.
Okay, so take 280,000 capital that we can spend this year, and if we got a $400,000 or $600,000 grant.
Wow, okay.
So it's double what we've got in our budget. So we can do big things. We've got, and Tim will talk about some areas that we need to focus on right away around the Quans Reservoir. So,
Okay, what about, in the past, this has worked real well, Brenda, and how long have you been in the city clerk?
I have done
3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, times 10. I started in 1987 as clerk. I've actually been with the city 36
Wow,
years.
okay, and you were out at the water treatment.
Yeah, I was out at the sewer plant. Yeah, it
sewer
was
plant.
nice and quiet out there. But it has been a phenomenal program for other cities and for our community. It is very competitive.
That's my next question, is a
Yeah.
lot of cities want this, right?
They do, and it's very competitive. There's lots of hoops to go through to get it, but we've done it in the past. There's no reason why we can't do it today.
But again, the survey is the important thing.
The key is the survey. Now, once we do this survey and we get the numbers we need, this survey is going to be good until the next census comes out. So we've got 2020 will be the census. The information from the 2020 census probably won't be out till 2021, maybe 2022. So we'll have a couple years yet that we can apply for more programs during this time.
30% is a good comeback on those surveys. Isn't that what they say? We'd like to have 100%, but 30, isn't 30 or 40%? You need more than 30% on this, don't you?
I do need more than that. Yes, for a normal survey, that would be excellent. Sometimes you only see 10 to 15%, but this one, we need everyone. So what we will do, you're going to get tired of hearing from me. We're going to send out reminders. We're going to have information out at all the media outlets. We're going to use our alert system to remind you. If you don't bring it back when you pay your water bill, the girls are going to say, hey, take a couple of seconds, let us do
That's great,
this. And then if we don't see you between now and then, we'll probably come knocking on your door or ringing your phone. So we'll probably have some volunteers out there helping us with that door-to-door. So it's just very, very important to do it.
Yeah. So the reason people should be interested in this, if we get money like this, then when we go to revisit rates or taxes, it has a big impact on those numbers.
Sure.
If we don't get it, I mean, you got to get the money some way to be able to do the infrastructure.
Well, you have to do
so you have
things
to
in the
either do it
city.
through taxes or rates, and I'd rather do it through the federal government giving us money.
Do you have to tell CDBG what you're going to use the money for?
We do. Once we get the survey done in June, I'm guessing on the date here, but sometime in June, we will have a public hearing that talks about what are eligible programs and what we have as needs. And Tim's got some information on those needs that he can talk about some of those requirements and stuff.
Okay.
One of the main projects that we have that's kind of the first one up will be Quan's Reservoir. Quan's Reservoir was a reservoir for the refinery that we acquired back in 1984. It was never designed for a municipal water reservoir, and the state over the last 10 years have been pretty adamant that we take it out of service. We have worked with them and tried to move that deadline down the road as far as we could. You know, in 2014, we went in and did a large inspection of that facility and went through and cleaned it and provided information back to KDHE to show that it was still what we felt was structurally sound and still a usable system. Well, in 2016, it flooded with that large rain event we got, and KDHE has now basically dropped the hammer and said, you're going to take it out of service.
Wow.
And they're working with us on a timeline to replace that infrastructure piece. Unfortunately for us, it's about $800,000 to replace that. It's a crucial piece of our infrastructure. It takes all of our east wells, and it's where all that water is pumped to before it gets pumped into town. So it's definitely a need of ours, and grants like this really help share that burden instead of having to put the entire burden back on our community.
Okay, so what we have to do with the quandary, you have to just completely eliminate it and then build it somewhere else, or put back in there. What's the plan for that?
In a non-flood range.
Correct. Right now, I mean, we had researched some options with them about whether we could rehab or whether we could modify it, and they are not interested in that.
Okay.
So it will be building a new 75,000 gallon storage facility that'll be moved up the hill a ways on the same property, and that'll service where we won't have it flooded.
Will it be a reservoir or will it be a tank?
Right now, we're looking at a below ground tank.
Okay.
We're still kind of in the discussions with KDHE on what we're gonna have as a final product, but that's what we're hoping for.
So, and how much does the Quans hold? How much water is it? 75?
It's about 70,000 gallons right now.
Okay.
So that's one project that's at the forefront right now because it's with KDHE mandating that
Yeah.
it's not an if for us.
Well, okay. So you take that out. You lost 75,000, about 75 of water storage.
Correct.
And how important is that?
Well, it's very important to us. When we're running during the summertime and we're at our full capacity, and at times when the ethanol plant's still pulling water from us, without that storage facility, it would be extremely difficult for us to keep up with the needs of our community.
Okay.
So it would change our operations dramatically. So it would end up costing the city a lot more money for the operations side than it would be as it sets right now.
So that's one reason there why we need the community rock grant.
It does.
Things.
And some other projects that we have coming up, everybody's aware of the State Street project. We're going to start with phase one, but we still have two other phases. And, those are expensive projects. They're about $1 million a piece. Now, we've been fortunate enough that KDOT has funded 95% of the first one. And we're hopeful that they will help with the other two phases, but that's never a guarantee.
So the phase one is from the Love East, right?
Correct. It'll be from Loves to the city limits. But as our infrastructure in the city, it's aged.
It's just like us.
You look at our streets. We all know that our streets are aging, and the money that we have set aside for maintaining those streets just are not going as far as they used to. And from a staff standpoint, we are looking at different methods to try to keep up on those streets with less funds. Our water and sewer lines, they're not getting any newer either.
Yeah.
And, those projects all fall underneath the community development block grants as far as things they would fund. Another prime example is community building. Unfortunately, with the community building, there's not a lot of funding options for us that help try to rejuvenate that facility. And this would be another great opportunity to partner with somebody to bring that facility back to where it really should be. So, you know, and I know for Lance, one of his favorites is the downtown brick streets. You know, those are very expensive. When we looked at the options of what it costs to replace some of those bricks, you're looking at about $500,000 a block.
Wow.
So there's a lot of need out there that we have, and our mayor's going to help make some tough decisions with that at some point. But you know, these grants like this are extremely helpful to our community to be able to support stuff like that.
Brick Street, they're very labor intensive, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
I mean, I don't think there's a machine that puts those down, is there?
There is a machine
There is,
that
really?
does it.
Okay.
Unfortunately for us, the projects we have would be small enough it would not be economical for them
Sure,
to bring it.
okay. You mentioned projects, the streets, like right now you're involved in doing some crack filling and everything.
We are. Right now we're concentrating north of Highway 36, and we started 2 weeks ago crack sealing, and it's not as fast as we'd hope it would be because there is an enormous amount of cracks out there. This is something that is going to be incredibly beneficial to us, getting those cracks sealed so water doesn't
Well,
penetrate
that's what,
the
you
base.
know, then it freezes and thaws and all that kind of stuff, and
So
creates a problem.
it's a lengthy process. It's not something we've done a lot of, so our crews are learning, and so far things are going pretty well.
Okay. You mentioned phase 2 and 3. What would those? What will those be?
Phase 2 of State Street right now is designated to go from 5th Street to Loves.
Okay.
And then Phase 3 will go from 5th Street to tie in here by the First National Bank where the concrete pavement is now.
Okay. And then west of there.
West of there, we're
it's a
doing.
big bargain, right?
We was fortunate enough to be able to partner with KDOT this year on a project they're doing out west of town. They're doing a mill and overlay west of Phillipsburg, and we was able to work with them where they're going to come up to 2nd Street and mill and overlay out to the west edge of town. So, and yes, it was at a great bargain for us this year.
Now there's sewer and water lines underneath 36, right? Which are
Correct.
How deep does that go below? Because that's a hill there. Every time I drive, how does sewage get uphill? And how does water, I know how water does because water pressure, but how does sewage get uphill?
The only way sewer goes uphill is if you pump it. But there's some of our sewer lines that are very deep,
Yeah.
and we would prefer never to have them underneath the street, but some places you just have no other choice. Part of these projects we're doing on State Street is taking our water line and moving it out underneath the sidewalk so that we have better access to it. Unfortunately, with those kind of systems, it's not a matter of if they will ever leak. It is a when, and it is much easier to access them underneath the sidewalk or grass than it is by tearing up the highway.
Yeah. Get back to CBGs a little bit. Do they usually give you what you ask for, or do they make that decision on how much you're going to get?
Typically, it is you apply for a number and you either are above the line or below the line. There's no negotiation.
Okay, all right.
So last year I looked at the water and sewer, and I'm thinking there were like 5 projects that were below the line, which means they didn't get any funding.
Okay.
And it varies between, of course, projects, but smaller communities, smaller than us, they're only eligible for up to $2,000 per resident in funding. So you'll see all sorts of requests. Some people put in much more matching money than the 25%. Some of them match it 1-to-1. And if they match it 1-to-1, they get more points.
Sure.
So everything counts. There's a point system. Northwest Planning and Development will be helping us with our application. And Karina Cox is an excellent administrator to work with on that. She's been doing it for as long as I've been city clerk. We've worked together a lot. So she knows those hoops, and we'll be putting our heads together and telling them what we need and what we've done to help ourselves. That's important. The
money that comes from the state, the 3/4, is that does it come initially from the federal government to the state and then cycle down to us out here? How does that work? Where's the money come from?
Originally, it is a federal program. And the federal government, at one point, President Trump had mentioned doing away with this program, and I think all the city clerks in the nation had a heart attack about that point, because that is some of our survival here. But they give money to the state for cities who are not in a metropolitan area, as they call it. And the state then sends it out to the smaller communities. The Kansas Cities, the Wichitas, I'm thinking Topeka, they get money directly from the federal. They're not eligible for this program. So, unfortunately, there's more of us small guys than there is the big guys. So our competition is really, really tough.
Okay. How much is available each year? Do you have an amount like 80 million or 10 million or whatever, or did they ever come up with that?
They do have a maximum, and I can't honestly tell you, because they divide it between several different programs. There is the water and sewer is a special application, and so they put X amount of dollars in that. Then they put X amount of dollars in community facilities. And those projects are what Tim talked about with the streets and the community building and fire trucks and fire stations and all these different other elements for a community. Then there is a group that goes into housing. You can apply for housing projects which will rehabilitate low to moderate income housing. The goal is to put an additional 20 years of life into that house. There's demolition projects. And remember when we did the demolition projects and everybody thought we were going to tear everything down in town? I think we did 40 buildings or something. So there's money there. But the key to this is the city can only apply for put one application in per year.
Sure, okay.
Out of those three categories. So we have to select which one is going to give us the most benefit and help the most people. Other programs that they have, there's a community development, downtown rehabilitation. A for-profit building owner can apply for funds to help them put something, a roof, a facade to their building, something that helps them get into compliance with code enforcement. It can either be with low to moderate income jobs, or it can be because of slum and blight. The last part of the program is economic development. There are funds in this that businesses and the community can apply for together to expand businesses, to create new jobs, all of those different things.
So, have you found in the past experience that they look at need? Is that very important, or is the survey the thing they look at for?
Well, first off, if we don't have a good survey, we can't apply. So, number one, we gotta have that survey. You'll hear me harp on that for the month of May. My husband's gonna be tired of it.
And everybody in town should want this survey.
Sure, right.
So
sure.
there's no, unless you just don't like Phillipsburg, there's no reason not to fill this survey out.
Sure, right,
It's
because
all
it's
about
there.
the city.
Yeah.
And I know some people are, I don't do anyone know what I'm doing, but it's not that kind of survey.
It's strictly within ranges. Back in 2010, when we did the census then, Phillipsburg data came back that our community was 41.12% low to moderate income. We have to get that number up to 51% plus. So the way we do that is each year the survey comes out, there's changes in those income limits. So today's income limits aren't the same as they were in 2010, and they've increased.
Okay.
They've increased. So we'll look here at the form. If you are a family of 3 and you make $44,050 a year or less, I want you. I need you. All of these things. But it's important that everybody finish, no matter what your income, whether you're above or below. We need the income survey back.
And be truthful with it. Just don't. I mean,
Yeah, don't because they may come back and audit us. So if they call you, we want you to be able to say truthfully, yes, I filled this out, and yes, that's what my income was. This is a good time of year to do a survey because you've just done your income tax. You've got an idea what your annual income is. It is what your gross income for the year. That's what they want to know.
okay.
And like I said, the more in a family, the higher the dollar amount.
Now, it says family. Now, is one person considered a family? Is that a family? Am I a family?
You are a family.
Okay, so I fill it out because I'm a family.
Yes, everybody
I'm a
fill it
family.
out.
Okay, yeah.
Lance is a
You
family.
and me in the same boat, bud.
And if you two shared a house,
Yeah.
you would be two families. Because,
Really? Okay, all right.
because you're not related.
Okay.
If you're living in the same house and you're related, you're
Okay.
part of one family.
Sure, all
If
right.
you have a roommate situation, you're two families.
Is the
And-
money available, Mayor, is the money available for our 25%? If we could get $800,000, and we'd have to pay 200 of that, right? And then we get 600,000. It's basically, is the money there? I mean, do we have?
Between the foundations and the city, Brenda makes us save money.
Okay.
Okay. So she's put money away so where we can operate.
Okay.
What did you say? 6
I-
months.
That's my goal.
If an emergency comes up where we lose something, we got 6 months of money saved back.
Okay.
So we can. So we'd have to tap that though,
Yeah.
and
I don't know whether it's budgeted in there or not in future budgets. But I guess you have to know if you're going to have it before you budget it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we are going to apply for KDHE loan money. We have to have a guaranteed source of that match to show with the application. So there's going to be an application for that. That doesn't necessarily mean we will use it, but we may have to. It just depends.
There's a lot of paperwork for this.
There's a huge amount of paperwork. You should see my office right now. But
Well, anything else on the infrastructure that, the Quan's Reservoir, that's the number one thing.
That's our key for right now, our first project out, because it's been mandated by the state. Our infrastructure, we've done a good job of trying to maintain it. It's just aged, and it won't last forever. And if we don't start putting plans in place to replace it, we're going to find ourselves in some serious trouble.
Any chance of getting a CDBG for me or my age?
well, we're gonna have to look at the housing side of it.
I'll just, stupid comment. Anyway,
Well, Tad, I want to say one thing about the Quan's Reservoir because you and I both like history.
right, yeah.
Originally that reservoir was built by the railroad for water
That's
at the
right.
railroad. Yeah. And when Tim and the guys drained that down, there were wood corks, wood plugs
Really?
in
Yeah,
that.
it's probably got a dozen wood corks still in place, and they're still holding tight. They're not leaking.
Really?
So
It's pretty fantastic when you get down in the bottom of that and look at just some of the ways it was constructed. It's got timber bottoms, and amazingly, those timbers look almost new.
Is the state are they gonna be, a lot of that depends on the CDBG and what you're gonna do. I mean, are they easy to work with? I'm put down.
yes, they're very nice people.
Yeah.
If you're listening, yes, we think you're wonderful people. But no, they've been good to work
Sure.
with. As I said, they've been working on us trying to do this for a number of years, and we've tried to extend this as long as possible, but they're also receiving some pressures from some federal agencies. I know when it flooded, the EPA kind of stepped on them a little bit and made them push a little harder, and so we've kind of put ourselves in the corner here where we have to do some work to it.
Water-wise, are the wells still pretty good and everything?
We are doing very well. Mother Nature keeps giving us a little bit of rain and some recharge to them. Things are going very well for them. So,
Anything else on the infrastructure?
just please fill out the surveys.
Okay.
We really have to have that in order to keep our prices down because, just like the Quans, that's $800,000. It's got to come from somewhere.
And it has to be done.
Yeah, there's
That's
not an option to that portion of it.
And
So-
so if you don't want me to bug you, send in your survey as the day you get it, and I will not mention it again to you.
Okay. But there's going to be follow-up, which if you don't, there will be follow-up.
There will be follow-up.
No 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls or anything like that.
No, I my bedtime is way earlier than that.
Okay. Well, it is very important. And we kind of, we're talking and laughing about it, but it is, it's a serious thing. If we want to get things done. Did you think when you took over mayor, you're going to have all these?
There's 800,000 reasons why we need to do this.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
When you took over mayor, did you realize that you had some of these things out there? to look
I'm surprised at how poor our infrastructure is getting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a surprise. But when you neglect it for years,
But is it neglect because there's not money there, or is it? Or I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know the
go-
history of it.
I
So
won't go there.
I think there's a lot of that. I mean, you also have increasing regulations that change how the operations go. As with any business, nothing's getting cheaper. None of the materials it takes to maintain any of our infrastructure is cheaper. It doesn't stretch as far as it used to, and like on our streets, we can't chip seal as many blocks as we used to with the same amount of money.
Sure, right.
And unfortunately, that just isn't getting us as far as we need to be able to keep up.
So, and your plans to do this every year then for the CBD?
We hope so, yes.
And if you get one, does that mean the next one, is it less chance of getting, or how does that work?
No, it's still that same
Okay.
process. It's still that same application. We just have to show our need, and we have to show what
Numbers.
we've done for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but we will have to do another survey in 2020
Okay.
or 2022. Is it
probably.
probably 2022 when the results
This
come in?
would be, you don't have to worry about filling another one out for 5 years, so just go ahead,
Yes.
4 years, go ahead and fill this out. We'll keep plugging.
We'll keep working away unless they change some regulation. It should be valid, but
Another, you see communities around here have got for airport and for sewers and this kind of, it's really a blessing, and it is, and it's not entitlement, it's need, isn't it?
it is. It's truly need-based. They like I said, the national objective is, the key one is to assist low to moderate income persons. And so if we can meet that and show that need, we have good chances.
Okay. All right, so when you pay your bill, be sure to bring that back with you and give it there at the window when you get bid in, and
And-
you'll get a thumbs up from whoever.
Oh, you'll get a smile that you won't believe, because my staff is ready for it to be over with already,
okay,
because
all right, fine.
they're tired of looking at the envelopes. And,
Okay.
but don't throw your water bill away.
Okay, yeah, be sure you take it out. It's not gonna be the card.
Yeah.
Anything else on infrastructure? One other thing I wanna talk about. We hit that pretty
We've hit
good.
it pretty good.
Fill
so-
out the survey.
Okay.
That's
Bottom
the
line.
Slogan for today, bottom line, fill out the survey. The other night, the rural fire department and the fire had a great, I didn't realize that we had that much equipment there, and the firemen and everything, a brand new truck.
We did receive a new truck this week, and we are very fortunate as a community in the county to have the level of equipment that we possess
Oh,
in the
yes.
fire department. Our local foundations have been extremely generous to us over the years, and were generous enough to assist us in purchasing us a new Ford 550. It has a 500-gallon tank on it, and it replaced a 1984 Dodge that was just not where it should be, and it is a fantastic new addition. We couldn't be happier with it, and again, this couldn't be done without the support of our foundations. We got grant money from the Hanson Foundation, the Morgan Foundation, the Cole Foundation, and the Phillips County Community Foundation, and those folks have been just fantastic for us. And as a community member, we really are impressed with what our fire department is able to accomplish.
And we're talking to the guys there the other night. They're pretty good. Pretty good department. I mean, number wise and everything.
We
You
are.
have a drone on. I don't. The
drone doesn't belong to the fire department.
But a drone, I tell you, that would be. I could see on a grass fire. You could send that drone out and see where it is and everything instead of driving out there.
Well, I'd have to consider that, but the drone belongs to one of our firemen, and we wanted to try to get some aerial pictures of our
They
department.
got them, yeah.
And there was some really neat pictures that he put
Yeah,
together.
it's
So
amazing.
with that truck, the foundation's also had money given to us for 5 additional packs.
And they
that
were
went
there
on our
on
rescue truck.
display, yeah.
Those replaced some packs that were outdated, and it just can't go on enough about how wonderful those foundations are to us.
And doing drive by the other night, really have to be proud of you. You got all those trucks out there and EMS and everything. But
It is truly amazing how wonderful the community's been to our firemen.
And we really need to say thank you to those volunteers, because they truly are volunteers. And the businesses they work for let them get off when that siren goes off. And they are amazing guys, and we want to keep them safe. So we are thankful for that equipment.
it's amazing, and it's neat seeing all that out there. Anything else on CDB? Okay, you want to talk a little, another thing is going to be
Well,
doing?
there's a couple things. Economic Development Advisory Board, we're doing a couple things around a new housing survey. So for people that are living in Phillipsburg that are unhappy with their housing and could see themselves moving into new housing in the next 5 years, there'll be a survey out there. This information will be used to give to a contractor who may be interested in building spec homes or an apartment possibly, because it'll be about renting as well. So that survey will be going out. I do not want to compete against the CDBG survey, so it will not be in the same packet.
Okay.
It'll probably be through Monkey Survey online.
All right.
And we'll send the link out to people. They can also drop by the city office, but that'll be coming out real soon. And then we're working with the chamber and Angie in putting out a business expansion and retention survey to learn more about what the city can do, as well as the chamber can do for the businesses here in town. And then on the lawmaking side of the business, we are going to have the law committee revisit the vicious dog ordinances that we have in place and policies, so to make sure they're up to date. Because we mentioned, animal control officer, and we really don't have an animal control officer in place right now.
One time didn't we have a part-time or something?
Yeah.
We did have a part-time. It gets to be too much,
Yeah.
and that just didn't work out.
The city does have a pound?
We do have a shelter or a pound
Shelter.
for dogs only. We can't take any other types of
And
animals.
all of our policies mention cats.
Yeah.
And we can't take cats. So
We used to be
that
able
just-
to, but we can't.
That just shows you how, a lot of the regulations have changed around pounds as far as what you can and can't do and put an animal under stress and keep PETA off your
I think it
tail.
was Hayes at one time, a long time ago, or some city around, or maybe it was Phillipsburg, that cats had to be, they couldn't run loose either. Was that here? Or?
We have that, and we
Okay.
have it. We have an ordinance that says they must be tagged,
Yeah, see how
and so
well, a lot of cats don't belong to anyone. They're just out there, doing the thing.
that.
Okay,
And we
well,
have very few dogs in our community, amazingly enough, by our tag numbers.
anything else?
No, you'll be hearing a lot from us here.
Okay, well,
in
that's
the
good.
future, so.
That's great. And fill out that survey. Or you'll have me to answer to. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, very important. Thank you for coming in. I really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Good to see you, Ted.
Okay. So the city of Phillipsburg, continuing to make it a better place to live. You might mention that the Tadpoll brought to you by all your friends at the Farmers State Bank in Phillipsburg, where interest begins the moment you enter the door. Interest in you. Member FDIC. Mapes and Miller, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Mid-America Real Estate, providing the best homes in the area for over 40 years. Blossoms and Butterflies, making beautiful flowers part of your life. Sign Solutions, your one-stop sign shop, and so much more. Madison Motors, in business for over 70 years. Roger & Associates, your local trusted choice agency. And lo and behold, guess who we have with us?
Good morning, honey. How are you?
Wow, I've been called honey in years. Anyway, no, I'm called honey. A lot of waitresses, they say, "Hi, honey, how you doing?" You know.
Well,
that's
how
fine.
about sweetie or whatever?
Sweetie
So,
too,
yeah.
all right. Yeah.
Yep.
I think they're going for another 5% on the tip, but anyway.
That's right. What can I get? Let's see. No, I'm just kidding.
And we have Tami and Angie with us both this morning. What are we going to talk about this?
Well, I'll let Tami start it out. We're going to talk about the cruise.
Yeah, we'll have the car cruise on Saturday, starting at 6 up at Sonic. And then we'll have the cruise it'll be the show from 6 to 7, and then the cruise from 7 to 9. And then Sonic's going to have a brown bag special
Okay.
for everybody. So 2 cheeseburgers, 2 tots, 2 drinks. Sounds like a date to me.
$9.99.
$9.99 for
That's right.
the whole thing.
That's right.
Now, where's the show? Is it going to be out there too?
Yeah, it's gonna be-
that lot, that area out there.
Yeah,
where they
between
are.
Sonic and the
motel.
roadway in. Yeah, it'll be in between there. People can just come in there and drive around. And if it happens to rain, which whatever. With my luck, you never know. But we could move it to the courthouse square.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends. But Sonic's gonna have this brown bag special all day,
Yeah.
all day on Saturday.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so it's not just for that.
right,
It's just,
it's all day. So
so
yeah,
go say, give me the brown bag special, and that's
that's
it.
right. Yep.
So if you have a good appetite, one guy can eat the whole thing,
That's
right?
right. If you're really hungry, you got a great deal there for $10
Now,
and change.
and then when they do, they'll just drive up and down.
Drive up and down State Street from 7 to 9.
So get your parking place there and watch them as they
A lot
go.
of people come up and they have their that don't have a car or whatever and just want to watch
Sure.
the cruise. And the weather, we just check the weather. It's supposed to be really
Sure,
nice.
Right, you know.
And but yeah, you
Is
never
it
know.
is it pre-registration? Someone out there wanting to?
Nope, you just show up.
Okay, just show up.
Just show up. Yep.
And what makes it a special car? Any car, or does it
I mean,
have to be a vintage thing, or does it have to be
No.
maybe a one of a kind, or?
No, it can be. I mean, you can drive your brand new 2018 vehicle up there. It doesn't.
Really?
It just is a great. I mean, it used to be where it had to be like old timey cars and all
Right,
that kind
yeah,
of stuff that you
because-
fix up. But now, I mean, it's just anybody that wants to have a good time and a cruise and just show off their cars, and everyone is invited. It's not just to certain people. I mean, it is a cruise night, and most of the time people think it should be a car show and old timey cars, but I mean, everyone is invited.
Okay.
You know, we don't turn anyone down, so we want everyone to come.
And from you don't have to be from Phillipsburg. You can drive all the way from.
We have people from Stockton, we have people from Norton, we have people from Nebraska area, all over the place, and so everyone's invited.
So just come on out there. Now,
Come on out.
What's the time of that again? This Saturday?
6 to 7 is at the Sonic, and then 7 to 9 is the cruise.
As a cruise, just go out and watch the cars go up and
That's
down.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People going through town say, "What's going on here?" You know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat deal. You always see that, and then to take advantage of brown bag special. Okay.
Yep, that's the
All
brown
right.
bag
Now, I
special.
know you have some other things. To
I
talk about.
do. I wanted to talk about Riverless is coming up, but before that, I wanted to talk about Girls' Night Out. It was Friday,
I was
last
gonna ask you
Friday.
about how that go.
It went wonderful. I mean, even the weather was kind of spotty and stuff. It rained, but no one melted. I didn't hear about, so it was okay. But we had lots and lots of people uptown, and the businesses that I've talked to said it was a great night.
Good.
Great night for their retail, for everything, and it was just a fun night. And then we had the after party at the Brandy Iron too, and gave away prizes and stuff. And so it was a lot of fun. Just want to tell everyone I appreciate them so much for coming out, for waiting for the bags, and the reason why we do the bags at the times that we do them, 4, 5, and 6, is because that way everyone has a chance to get them. And I know when people come at 4:15 and we've already gotten rid of, because it was 9 minutes I was out of 100 bags.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and so it gives everyone a chance, because not everyone's off work at 4 o'clock, to come and get, stand there. And I know no one likes to stand in line, but it's the only fair way I can think about how to do this, because I just want it to be fair.
Was there any gambling going on out there?
No gambling. No, nobody gambled.
I thought you had a casino night out
Well,
there.
we had cards on a table and we had stuff, but
they
I
just
just
didn't do it.
no.
Okay,
And I think everyone was just so tired from shopping that they just really didn't
Shop
stay.
till you drop
yeah.
thing,
Yeah, they didn't really stay too late. We did have when you came in, you got tickets for every receipt that you had. You got a ticket for a chance to win a drawing, and so that was kind of cool to see who had the most receipts. And Shelley Johnson had the most
Wow,
receipts, and
okay.
so she was really shopping. So it was kind of fun.
And any guys?
No
Okay,
guys
well,
this
since
time.
guys not- okay, do
No.
something for us guys.
I'm trying. You got to tell me what to do. So we will. But it was a good time. So thank you everyone that participated and everyone that came out and shopped and all the businesses. We couldn't do this without them. And it was fun. And
I'm glad things went well.
I did tried to do the live videos. It was Tammy's idea, which was a great idea, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I did not know what I was doing. So I started the first one, and I was like, oh, there's people already watching. I didn't know that you watched it like right away. I thought you had to post it and then do it, but it wasn't that way. So on the first one, I kind of was a little nervous, but it was good.
Alrighty, so
It was good. Okay.
that was the girls' night out.
Yes, so now, we got Riverless coming up June 2nd, and of course we're going to have, the hospital does their race, so Phillips County Health Systems does the race. We have turtle races, so start looking for your turtles. Great food, music, we got the kids, inflatables, we're going to have some kids games this year. We're going to have arts, crafts, educational booths, just different things. The show and shine car show, it will be here. I'm looking for someone to help me out with that, so if anyone is a car person that wants to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. And that's just like them helping people park the cars and kind of sitting around all day, because I'm kind of all over the square. So need some help with that. And we have here the how much, if you want to do the food and you want to do the crafts, we have forms in the office, and so please come and get them. And if you want us to mail them to you, we can. So just call the Phillipsburg Chamber of Main Street and CVB office, and we'll mail them. We need these in by May 17th, so we can get things started. So, yeah, but anyway, so how are, what, go ahead.
What were you going to ask?
I was just going to say, how are you?
Fine.
Good.
All right. Yeah, I guess another thing I was going to ask you about now, senior moment again. It's
I'm
do you ever
sorry,
have senior moments?
Oh, yeah, we have them all the time.
I know what it was.
What?
The school selling the fish, the duck thing.
Oh, okay, so they're not doing that.
They aren't going to do
No,
it?
no.
Okay.
We there's a change. There was some conflicts. There was
Okay.
whatever. So they're not going to do that. So I got to come up with something else. But we will have ducks. I just don't know when
Okay.
or how or who's going to sell them. Do you want to sell them?
I can sell them.
Okay.
I go door to door,
not to put you on the spot, but
right.
yeah. So we'll
so
see.
it just didn't work out.
It just didn't work out with the school. So we're nixing that one,
Okay,
and we're gonna
so-
start something different. So
Sure.
I'll come up with a different idea. I just don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
So yeah.
Chance to win some money and have
Yep,
some fun.
yep.
Okay. Well, anything else?
Well, we had a meeting last night, and so we got our barn quilts that are going to go on the planters to make the
Okay,
planters
that's-
look really beautiful when the city gets them all put up, and different people have volunteered to make them, and so that's going to be a really nice addition this
Is it
year.
a contest or just people?
No, it's not a
Okay.
contest. It's just to make the planters and beautiful. Just make the
And I just
everything
learned in
beautiful.
the last week what a barn quilt is.
yeah, I know.
I didn't know what's a barn quilt.
Yep.
That's a big quilt to cover a barn, but you see them in the east a lot.
Yeah.
And it's so. Explain a little bit what a barn quilt is.
Well,
A barn,
Go
barn
ahead.
quilt is a piece. It's a big square of wood, and it's painted to look like a quilt. And a lot of times it'll have different stories to it. It tells a story.
Okay.
So, and usually they have like a theme that goes with them, or, you know, like I say, like the story or whatever. So, yes.
So is there one on the
On the
senior
scene-
center? And there's some on the west side of the Sawyer's right
Yes,
there.
yes. Bobby has
That's
made
a barn
them.
quilt. That's
Mhm,
what you
a barn
see up
quilt.
on barns.
Yes.
Initially, they came on barns, you know.
Right. Right.
And we do have one in each town. So
Okay.
in Phillips County. And Long Island's is complete. We just don't have it hung up yet. So,
We're waiting on
Yeah.
their park to get done, and then they're
All
gonna
right.
put it in their park.
Well,
So
thanks.
it's really neat. We are really excited, and then we're gonna get the trail, and so people can come and look at all of them, where we'll have them listed and stuff. And we have some really talented people
yes.
around this
Yeah.
community, and it's just so nice because. And I want someone to teach me how to do one because I've never made one, and you know, it would be really cool.
That's great. Okay,
But we
so
had
that's
16 planters, and like that, we've
Yeah,
got
just like that.
Wow.
yeah
Oh,
submission
wow.
for
Okay.
of all
Sure.
these
Wow.
ideas and
You
stuff.
go out
So
when the weather gets so it's not going to be freezing. I have a feeling we're going to have a frost in July this year. though.
Really?
I don't know. I
Don't
just-
say that.
The way this,
Please don't
this
say
crazy
that.
weather
So we
is.
can have Christmas in July, right?
Well, right.
There we go.
I'm sure we do something like that. Very good.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for coming
Well,
in this
thanks.
morning. And
All right.
again, the car show and the cruise and everything coming up. And
This
that's for the
weekend.
brown bag special. That's this
Yes,
weekend.
Saturday.
The Saturday night and a lot of other things going on. And-
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good
Have
day.
a great day.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
And let's see, we never know who's next here. The door opens, and I think out there we may have Shelley may be out there, or or Morris? No one out there? Okay. We remind you that the Phillips County Health Systems make it possible to sponsor the program here, Tadpoll and the Sports Talk. Aldous Bovey Memorial Chapel, Stephen E. Russ, your State Farm agent, Sonic Drive-In, like us on Facebook to see the Sonic deals, Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street where the roads are paved with opportunity, Farmers and Ranchers Outlet, and J&R Avac R. There's some of the sponsors making it possible for us to be in here on a Thursday morning. Shelley Smith was supposed to be on here coming in this morning. Also, Morris Engle was going to come on and talk about the Hanson music thing. Is the mayor still out there by any chance? Why don't we get him back in here if we can? If we could have him talk about maybe some other things. Morris. Let's see. We're still working on it. See if they went around. And Shelley was going to. Told her to be around 10 o'clock. Maybe stop in and talk about the blood drive that's coming up. I think it's next Wednesday. This is what you call in the business stalling for time. This is we're going to get anyone else? No one out there yet? Okay. Thanks for, again, be sure you fill out that survey. Okay, we're going to get, all right, Angie.
I'm back.
What else can we talk about? Thanks for, I was
We
hoping you were
can
still going
talk
to be
about
around here.
whatever you want. Let's
Okay.
talk about anything in this whole world.
Okay.
So
So things going well with the chamber? and
things are
everything?
going amazing. Yes, Chamber of Main Street busy all the time. I'm working on a new newsletter that I send out every month, and so I'm working on that this month and letting people know what's going on in May. And then we're just the office is just busy all the
Sure,
time. So we have the Shepherd's Mill is having some people come in on Tuesday from Hayes, like 17 people coming in to do a class and stuff for the Shepherd's Mill.
Okay,
And so
wow.
we're getting bags ready for them, and then the other businesses are pitching in and having like I don't want to say a treat bag, but a bag for them to kind of know what's going on in Phillipsburg, Phillips
Sure,
County, and then each business that Pam has called, they're putting something in the bag. So it's really neat for the Shepherd's Mill to do things like that. I don't know, have you ever been in there to like watch
Yeah,
them?
well, I'm going to have to go in and watch it. We
Yeah.
had her on this program at one time.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to get in there and watch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then, girls' night out, they had stuff going on there. They had, they did a project, and then everyone that did the project, they donated $1 to the food pantry. So that was really nice. And then, we have so many different businesses, like Art of A is Tamara Griffey, and she makes all the leather and the rings and all that kind of different stuff. So it's really neat. But anyway, well, your next person is here. So anyway,
Thank you for
you're
for
welcome.
filling in.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Well,
All right.
I'm glad you were still around.
See you later.
Okay. Oh boy. Live broadcasting. Now we have both of them. We have everyone here now. A reminder that the First National Bank and Trust proudly supporting Panther Athletics and coming your way with the Tadpoll, the sports talk, from the sales floor to your delivery door. See Jim and Terry at all of Bovey Furniture and Appliance, so they provide gracious living for less. Professional family eye care. See Dr. Juneman for all of your eye care needs. Coombs Trucking, you call, we haul. Wyman Firestone Tire Sales and Service. Back to the youth of Phillips County, and Biggs Insurance for all of your auto, home, business, and farm insurance needs. Good morning, Morris.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Great, great.
Let's. Reason why we wanted on you, one thing is this, what the Hanson Foundation is making possible for young musicians.
Right. Well, or actors,
Or
set
actors, yeah, right,
designers,
yeah,
whatever.
sure.
Yeah. This is the kind of, I guess we call it the Lovewell Project. And for a week in June, the Hanson Foundation has arranged for a professional group to come in at the Huck Boyd Center, work with high school students from Monday to begin the process, and by Friday they have written a musical,
Wow,
choreographed
this is
it, put it on.
Yeah,
and
people are going to be able to come and see
Oh,
it
absolutely.
on Friday night. Oh,
Yes,
that's great.
absolutely.
I think that's just
it is. And we have 7 students signed up so far. So
Okay.
I'm just putting out the last word because basically I think the registration ends about May 1. So we want to.
How many
get
do
the
you
word out.
need?
They'd like to have 10, but
Okay.
hopefully if we get even
Sure, yeah.
8 or 9, we might be able to make it go.
This is high school age.
Yes, you can be a completing 8th grader, so you've graduated from 8th grade, and just graduated seniors. So if you're not working or off to college or something and have a week, be a great
Great
experience.
opportunity. Now, is there a
Yeah.
cost?
There's a $50 registration fee per student, but if they don't want anybody to miss the chance if the $50 is a problem. So when you register online, you can request a scholarship and they'll help out. And the Hanson Foundation is focused for 2018 on a lot of arts projects, and this is one of them. So this is only being presented 4 times. So it's Phillipsburg, Russell, Concordia, and
Hayes,
Colby.
Colby,
yeah.
okay, Colby.
Yeah, the Hayes kids will either come up here
Okay.
or go to Russell.
And do you know where are the ones coming up here? Are they all from this?
I haven't seen.
Okay.
I know of 3 here, but it could
Okay,
be.
sure.
We've got the word out to Stockton and Logan and
That's
Norton.
very
So
Great opportunity.
yeah,
I
if you're
mean,
if you're an aspiring whatever,
Yeah,
here's a chance to see, and you get to work with professionals.
Sure.
And,
Well,
you
that's
know,
the thing,
Yeah, and they're going to say, give you some guidance, and that tune works, but let's try it in a different key or something. Just all those kinds of things that you just don't have a chance to unless you work with a professional.
it's with the arts and last Saturday night I was in Junction City, and they put on Wizard of Oz. It did a great job, and we're going to be doing it here.
Right. The Arts Council, that is our local summer musical, and the tryouts are coming up. So if you've got a witch in your background and you want to try out for the Wicked Witch or whatever, or even a Munchkin.
They had Munchkins. They had the Munchkins down there. They were grade school kids, and they did a great job.
Oh, I
of
bet they
making-
did, yeah.
They were really into it. More than the
Yeah,
adults. I mean, they really thought that was neat.
Well, each summer, excuse me, our production values just get better and better.
Sure, right,
We've got professional costumes and Jim just works magic with lights
Sure,
and sound
yeah,
out
yeah.
there at the Huck Boyd. And of course, we've got computerized lighting now, so that when you don't have to get up like the old
Really?
days. We had to get a ladder up
Yeah,
there, you know,
right,
and
yeah.
put the gels on. Now you just punch it in, and then you
wow.
know, and it goes like
Great.
that.
It's great to have that facility
and,
here. For
and that this Lovewell project gets to use all that.
Sure.
So that's even makes it more exciting. So.
Is that one reason why maybe they came to Phillipsburg?
Yeah,
or
I
the
think
Huck
you
Boyd?
got a
I mean, it's
500
facility.
seat.
You need a facility.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly, and it's a professional venue, so why not give it a try here?
Any idea how many are going to be coming for the professionals?
I think 4. I'm not sure. A musician, choreo artist, because they're even going to have to design the sets and get
Sure,
those
I'd
ready
like to
too.
It'd be neat to have them on that program on my Tadpoll on a Thursday morning to
Yeah,
talk about that
we
while
try to
they're here.
arrange that. Yeah,
Yes, to find
of course. That's probably dress rehearsal day. They may not be able to spare you much time.
Sure, well, we're going to figure out something there. That'd be neat to,
Yeah.
to talk with
I
some
just
professionals.
want to encourage parents, grandparents, if you've got a kid that's, into that, here's a great opportunity. And you just go on to www.lovewell, just like it sounds, one word, lovewell.org, and you can register.
And do that. And when's the deadline? It's next
I'm
weekend.
thinking it's May 1st.
May 1st there.
So get moving on it if
And
you
it's a
can.
good another thing the Hanson does makes it possible. A lot of young boys and girls. I'd like to be a professional
Yeah,
singer,
yeah.
or I'd like to be an actor or something. This is your chance to work with someone.
Well, or you see the sets when we bring in
Sure,
shows and
yeah.
think, gosh, how do they make that look so
Right,
real? Well,
yeah.
now's the chance to explore that too. So
That's amazing, and it's
Yeah.
made possible. So, what was that again? How do you get on the?
www.lovewell, LOVEWELL.org,
Okay.
and then you just go to the registration.
And again, I know the young boys and girls are in school right now, but if you're a parent out there, or like I said, a grandparent,
Yeah.
really pursue this. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
All right.
And the summer, we get out of school so early
Yeah, I
this
know,
year.
yeah.
The summer's going to be a little bit long maybe,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
here's a week of some real
That's great.
intense fun, but
Okay.
yet some training
All
too.
right. Well, thank you. More
Okay,
anything else?
that's where I am
When's,
today.
when's the next strategic planning for everyone?
May 14th, 6
Uh-huh.
o'clock at the Fisher Building. And I'm happy to say that we've added 3 work groups.
Okay.
So we're building in our own way in Phillips County, so that's great.
And as the Phillips County Community Foundation, there the other night, we helped buy that. The foundation helped buy that fire truck.
Yeah, that was a
It's
great
amazing.
evening. Yeah, we had all the guys out and all those trucks with the equipment. It's just amazing. And the thing that kind of goes unsaid, I guess, in a way, is the guys that really sacrifice
Sure. Well.
to get out of bed in the middle of the night when it's
Yeah.
raining and cold, and they go fight a fire or work a car
Sure,
wreck or get
mhm.
the jaws of life out. We really owe those guys.
We sure do.
And
That's volunteer.
Yeah, and to be able to help provide that equipment is just a privilege,
okay.
really. So.
All right, very good.
Okay, thank you.
And again, if you're someone out there, if you have someone in the family that would want to get involved with this, with the music or acting or so on, the sets, good opportunity for that. All right, I think Shelley showed up too, so I think we're going to talk with Shelley about the blood drive. We get Shelley Smith in here and with the Red Cross, and it's funny. It seemed like this just
We were just
comes around
here.
again. You were just here.
We were just here.
Well, let's talk about the blood drive. When's it coming up? And what's
May
that?
the 9th.
Okay.
And it will be out to the 4-H grounds from 12 to 6.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I know this is a little early, but we are lacking a little bit on appointments. So if they have not made an appointment, they,
do it.
they can call me. They can call Sherry Woodside, or they can go on to redcrossblood.org and they can make their own appointment.
And walk-ins are welcome too.
You betcha.
Okay. Is there a need this year?
Oh,
There's
you
always
bet.
a need. That's a
There is always a need. But also, by giving blood, you give life. And that kind of quote come from, well, we're doing something special this time. We are honoring a community citizen That, in fact, she's been the blood drive coordinator for years. We're honoring Deanna Culbertson.
Okay, Deanna, right?
Yes, we're doing an honor for her, which I think is fantastic. She's done a lot for that. I mean, she's done other community projects that she's been involved, but she is also a cancer survivor. And she's was a nurse. She was an RN.
Sure.
So, and she believes in giving the blood because it's a giving life.
Well, sure. How many do you have drive you have here? How, do you just every other month or?
It's about every 2 months.
Every
Our
2
next one will be in July, and then we had one in September, and then we have one in December.
Now, okay, so how does this work? They come from Wichita?
They come out of Wichita, and they bring their own texts and everything. I have a crew that goes out in the mornings, and they set it all up, and then they come in, and if they need help unloading the truck and stuff like that, we're there. Or then we have another crew coming in. The Rotary Club has been generous enough to get a crew of guys and women, and they come out and they clean up.
Okay.
And they also help, if they need help tearing down the beds and everything and packing the truck, and they do that. So I have several different crews, and then we have a calling committee. We have, then we have the kitchen help, which Marty Roberts is in charge of that, and then Colleen Gale, she gets all the escorts for us and the table at the registration table and the escorts. So we just, we have quite a bit of crew there going.
I know every once in a while somebody, how is this blood used? It goes back to the bank in Wichita,
Right.
and then, but does Phillips County get credit for so many pints? Or
Yes.
How does that work?
Last time we have a goal. It's usually it just depends upon what they are. I'll just say it's 56.
Sure.
And is our goal. And if sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't. But they always set us a goal to be met.
Sure.
And we have this machine. It's called Alex, which it takes your blood cells out and then puts the plasma back in. And it takes about an hour, which is called whole blood. And we have several that really like that, but you can only give it every other time.
Okay.
So we have, certain people that really like to do that.
Sure.
And so, but they do that. So we do get credit. And a lot of times too, if they have your email address, there's a little thing that they scan, and sometimes they'll send you an email, like your blood went to so-and-so at Tennessee, or it went to wherever, and or it was used for a child,
Okay, yeah.
which is really kind of neat. So
sure.
you know where your blood went.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but you can also go on to what they call Red Cross Blood Drive /Rapid Pass, and you can go in and do a Rapid Pass, which kind of speeds up the process. And that way, you've already answered all your questions, like you've been out of the country, when there's surgeries, or have you had any piercings or anything like that. And so it will get you in and out really fast. So you don't have to sit there and answer all those questions. You've already done that. But it's called Rapid Pass.
It's amazing. Several years ago, when I got with my problem I had with blood cancer, I had 34 transfusions. And so I don't know where. It usually had to come from Wichita.
Yeah.
But it was it was amazing. I don't know who, but I sure thank the people that.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Had that. So
Very
I could-
definitely. But our crews, they do come out of Wichita, but then we have a truck that comes up here and gets the blood.
Okay.
And then it takes it back to Wichita. And then the crew may move on to, say, Hill City or Plainville,
Sure.
or, Hayes or whatever,
Okay, well,
So, but
so it's good. Now, when again? It's next Wednesday, right?
May the 9th.
9th.
Yeah, May 9th.
Okay.
So get out there and get your appointments made if you
wanna
haven't.
come on- you want to come on next week and talk a little about it?
Do I want to? No.
I thought it was the second. I don't.
No, that is fine. But no, I would just soon do it now because
Okay, all
this
right,
way
that-
it gets people out there to
Sure, okay.
get that appointment made, and I'm going to have
We'll mention
signs
it next-
out.
We'll
Yeah.
mention it next week.
If
We'll
you
mention
would, that'd be
next-
fantastic.
Yeah, we'll mention next week to do that. So now it's at the fairgrounds. Walk-ins from.
Oh, you bet we love walk-ins, especially in our community. We're in a rural community. A lot of the farmers do come in, but they never know what
Sure.
their day is going to be or anything like that. So a lot of them just walk in,
Okay,
which
good.
is great.
Okay, good cause. And
Yep.
see your friends out there and everything.
Oh, you
Well,
bet.
thanks-
Get them
thank you,
out
Shelley.
there.
Okay.
All righty.
So thanks for
Thank
coming on
you.
this morning,
Uh-huh,
Shelley
thanks.
Smith. It's coming up the 9th, not the 2nd. The blood drive. We'll mention it next week.
Okay.
Do we have any other surprise guests out there this morning? We'll have Rachel look out. Anyone else? No one else out there showed up expecting to be on it? Oh no, we'll leave Angie out there. All right. Well, I was all wrong. I thought the second. So I was. Rachel and I were talking earlier. I thought it was next week, but we were right on that thing. Okay, very good. So I guess that's going to do it. Next week, we understand that we're going to be visited all during the month of May because it's Beef Month. So we'll have someone on here to talk about beef. Of course, very, very big in the area. We'll be talking about the Beef Month. And by then, I'm sure we'll have other people coming in here. So that's going to do it. For the Tadpoll for this Thursday morning, and we thank the sponsors for making it possible for us to come in here and talk about things. Be sure you fill out that survey. If you're watching and you're on Phillipsburg Water, you're going to get it with your bill. Fill the survey in. It's for the advantage of Phillipsburg, so we can get that community development block grant. And we'll see you Saturday morning Sports Talk next door. JB Cummings is going to be joining us. The golfers. The coach is out of town again, and we won't do that. We're working on something else to fill in the time there. So anyway, again, thank you for Rachel for getting us on the air here, and we'll see you next Thursday morning, 9 o'clock on the Tadpoll.